What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing awesome. I want to jump right into this. We are changing the format of our spotlights into shortcuts. Why? Because for people like Jackson Chen, who are now at 190 customers in their SaaS agency, they did it the long way, and I think they've got some shortcuts that they can share with you so you can do it faster and more efficiently. That's what these interviews are about now. We're not just going to spotlight the person. We're going to find the shortcuts that they would offer up to you so your agency can grow in a fraction of the time and doing things right. So pay attention, take notes. Shortcut interview number 1 with Jackson Chen. What is up, everybody? Welcome to, this is the inaugural episode. That's why I got these awesome glasses on of what I'm calling the SaaS agency shortcut. It is a cool video structure. Again, got the glasses going, where we're going to show you how to shortcut 3 specific categories: your market, your offer, and how to persuade customers to come into your agency. And for the very first episode, I've got Jackson Chen, who is a new friend of mine from Down Under, to come and tell us the secrets. I'll take these ridiculous glasses off, Jackson, but thanks for coming, my friend. I appreciate you. And thanks for being the first shortcut interviewee.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. I've always watched what you've been doing, and I think you offer a lot of value. So hopefully we can bring something to the community.
Awesome. Well, so as the first visitor, I'm kind of working out some ideas, and what I wanted to do was start with the end. I wanted you to paint a picture about your agency, about what it looks like today, and then maybe we can reverse engineer how we got here through those 3 different things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Awesome. So tell me about your agency, what your niche is, and your results and kind of where you're at today. Describe that for the watchers here.
Yeah. So I think the first thing Alfred is establish is that I don't actually come from that whole marketing background. So like my complete business actually is built on solving a particular solution for the gym industry, so the gym owners, fitness studios. And the reason why that's the case, because I was a gym owner, I was a golf professional for 12 years, and I've been involved. I operated a gym for the last 5 years as well too. So I've seen the struggles of being a gym owner, how many tech stacks they've got. And so my whole, I guess, agency or business is around solving solutions for gym owners.
Okay, awesome. So gym owners, you were, and I did see on Ryan's interview with you, Ryan O'Connor, that you were a professional golfer. So that'll be fun. We can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool. I played golf in high school. I was on the golf team, but that ain't the thing. Anyway, we move on. So you help gym owners today. You're a SaaS play primarily. Yep. Talk to me about what it is that you offer to those people. What does your SaaS look like? So your GHL, primarily. Tell me about what you're offering to agencies.
Yep. So
gym owners.
Well, the primary is a business out of the box solution on automations. So essentially what we do is our business out of the box, everything we've done as a gym owner over the last 5 years, working with our coaching team, from your lead nurture to your appointment reminders, to your client journey, down to the, what happens within a member's journey, to the point of ongoing marketing. So everything we'll put into GHL is all about how can we create a tech stack or automation that makes gym owners' life a lot easier. Yeah. And then we also added little additional features within the GHL using sort of clever I think it's clever, custom field type automation to make the operation easier. Because one of the things that gym owners, when it comes to tech, is that it's very clunky. So over the last couple of years, we've developed ways that we can make their life easier to operate within GHL, and making that time more efficient, so they can do more things that's more effective in terms of revenue generating and things like that.
Okay. So this business because are you currently a gym owner or previous?
Yeah, still gym owner. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. We're talking right now, and my time it's 12:40, and so just almost ready for lunchtime, and you're at 4:40 in the morning. Yes.
Yeah, 4:40 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty early. So thanks for doing this. I would not be getting up at 4:40 in the morning, but you were up for the gym, so so it makes sense. All right, so your gym owners, and how many customers right now does your agency have in terms of your software agency?
I think we're 190 accounts at the moment.
Okay.
But I'm doing 190, 195, something around there.
195 SaaS accounts is something that a lot of people, I mean, they're like, oh, I'm at 1 or I'm at 5. How do we get to 190? And I love, how long have you been in the agency space, by the way?
Just under 2 years.
Really? Wow. That's pretty great. I mean, in 2 years, you've been able to learn the space, get everything, aggregated. I guess it helps that you kind of already knew. Now, did you get in the agency space because you were a gym owner and you knew those pain points, or why did you even get into this space?
Whoa, that's a really good question. I think, believe it or not, it all actually came about because of COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it actually all came out because of COVID, because our gym was going quite well prior to all that. And then during COVID, I was already using another white label GHL at the time just to help me to manage my leads and things like that. But that particular GHL was more about how do we get people booked in automatically on the front end. But over that period, I started developing, I guess, my own little thing for my own studio to see, well, it's such a powerful tool. And what can I do to help me to run my business better? My message has always been, how can I get my business, or how can I get a gym owner's business more efficient with their time by saving the 25%, 20% in the administration thing they normally do in the gym? That's going to put 3, 4, 5 hours back into their week, so they can go and earn more money by marketing better or do more sessions or whatever they need to do. So my message was around, how can I make the business more efficient by giving them better tools, better processes, so they can earn more money. Like, what I found was difficult was that I could generate leads, but more leads doesn't solve the problem all the time.
Right.
Because just by dumping 50, 100 leads into a system, and a broken system especially, it doesn't make it better. It's got to be, I want to set a much more holistic approach when it comes to being able to solve a gym owner's problem, when it comes to lead generation, capturing, and all that kind of stuff.
So when you approach a gym owner, and actually I got this is a 2-part question. Is there a specific subsection, so a sub niche of the gym industry that you're in? And when you approach them, how do you, because if you went to them and just said, yeah, we want to make your business more efficient, that's not going to get their interest. Everybody says those kind of things.
Yeah.
What's the approach? What's the hook? How do you get them to say, oh, this is an interesting solution for my problem? So that's a 2-parter.
Yeah. So the gym, I guess it's going to come into really segmenting the market that we work with. So the people we work with specifically tend to be gym owners that's probably doing about 15, 20K a month already. So they already have some kind of business going around, that's 60 to 100 clients in group training or per personal training.
Okay.
And the issue that we find that in gym owners in that space is that they don't quite have to have cash flow to hire additional administrators or additional trainers or additional whatever they need to do to actually do what they need to do in the gym. They tend to be sole traders, they tend to be sole operators, that they do everything on their own, marketers, doing lead generation, doing classes on the floor. So there's a gap in what I call it, kind of like a gym's death trap. It's like you're stuck there. Like, people just cannot break through this ceiling because they're doing everything, right? Everything manually. They're wasting a lot of time. And by being able to, when we talk to them about, we already identify those pain points because we've been there before.
Yeah.
So once we're speaking to them about it, we usually identify, what are you currently doing? Are you doing any lead gen? Are you doing paid ads? Are you doing whatever? Anyone who's doing sort of 10 plus leads a week on a regular basis, they have a bit of a pain point. And that's usually when we have a discussion about what will actually change if we can solve some of those particular problems, especially things about leads coming in, I can't get to them in time, or leads coming in, I cannot approach them or cannot call them. Clients coming in, I've got all these different things I need to be doing to try and onboard them. How can we make those things more efficient? So it's really just seeing those gaps in their business before we can solve those problems.
It's interesting because in Legion I have I think it's when I'm teaching people how to write ad copy or ads, and it talks about dog whistle copy, right? Which, if you don't know what a dog whistle is, you blow it, and basically the frequency it rings at is only audible by dogs. Okay, so if you were blowing it in a group of people, nobody would hear it, and that's what you want for any type of, whether it's cold email, ads, whatever it is. You want some type of message that speaks to that specific pain point. In your case, you had a lot of psychographics around the frustrations that people who were, hey, we've gotten past this first hump. Now we're at the next one. We don't have to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is definitely the niche. Okay. So you spoke to their pain point, and then how do you go from identifying them to now this is why it's worth getting on a call with us? Do you sell via demo call? How do you sell it?
Yeah, so demo calls. And we can talk about this later on in terms of how I guess get these clients coming in through, is that because most of them have got some sort of paid traffic happening. So when I do demo calls, we basically just show them what we have done, and I show them I'll put a test contact into a demo account, and I show them how I work with that contact, the way I work in the client journey from, okay, the lead has landed in the pipeline. This is what I do in terms of contacting them. And when I contact them, these are the missed calls type counts I do. If I call them, there's automated message that gets followed up with them. And then when they go into a phone appointment, these are the reminder that goes out. Or when they go into a trial or like a 28-day journey, this is a button you click. So I basically take them through the entire process of showing them how I work with the lead from the moment they come in to the moment they become either a client or not a client. And then
how long is that demo? Like when you show that to somebody, what's like, just give me an idea how long it is and what the high points of that demo are.
I mean, the most part of that is usually identifying what the actual pain points and actually their frustration to begin with.
Right.
The actual demo itself is probably only about no more than 10 minutes, because I'm showing them. So the whole conversation may be maximum 25 minutes.
Really?
In a demo. Yeah.
And it's a one call demo to close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting because I've talked a lot about different ways of persuading people. One of the most powerful things is proof. Okay. So when somebody does a demo, like you're doing a demo, or for the viewer watching, the shortcut here is you have to understand that it's not enough to tell somebody, hey, I understand your pain point of you're getting leads, but then the rigor of follow-up and disorganization, all that, we've got it handled, right? Yeah. You have to show them. You have to have them, and maybe even like visualize, hey, imagine you were using this. Imagine you got this, Tom Smith came in, watch this.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then the conclusion is, what would happen if all of those leads at the end went through this same process? What do you think would happen with your gym? Is that kind of your framework?
Yep, 100%. Exactly. That's exactly how we do it. Because one thing I realized early on or later on in I guess building the SaaS business was that the most important thing for a user is the speed to get to that point of realization they can make this work in a SaaS product.
Yes.
It's adoption. So I think that what our early issue is that the way we built GHL was like how we always done it. Like, we would just show them, we just kind of walk them through what we've done. But the thing is that there's a lot of complexity. So we actually had a lot of churn in the beginning, early in the stages, because it was just too difficult to use. Like, we'll give you, here's 80 automation with triggers and campaigns back in the day. Like these are everything we've done for you already. Here you go, off you go, and you can go for your life. The one key problem we had was that we built it, they don't understand it.
Yes.
Which meant there was actually a lot more questions about, how does all these things work? So what we've done now is that we built it, but then we actually showed them how to use it. And by actually showing them how to use something in a very simple way that they can understand, it helped them to win and get to usage and get adoption a lot faster.
Yeah.
And like the faster we can get them to that point, the longer they stay, and the easier it is to actually grow the business that way. Because Otherwise, it just stores your growth when you don't do that.
Onboarding and adoption and implementations is a question that I get all the time.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to show, because there's not one way to do it.
Mhm.
Right. And it's going to be based on what your value proposition is at the very beginning and how that develops over time. So for my agency, our promise, our hook, the thing that we're doing at the beginning is, get leads from Facebook without an agency. That's how we're approaching them. And so the goal of our first call is for them to do the thing. Hey, click that ad, click the launch button, you're done.
Yeah.
And to get them that win, right? And we can't go weeks. It has to be on that call.
Yep.
Right. And then we're going through, and over time, we're doing a follow-up call with them. We have some other like group calls and things like that to get them to adopt more of the system.
Yep.
But also do it in a very simple way. Yep. Right. And I've got a great team between Jacob and Heather, who over time, we've actually just made it to where in our agency, they're turning on the ads, they're moving cards around. So opportunity from here to here.
Yep.
And then they're just doing a couple of prompts now that we've got some of the AI booking stuff. So they're doing less and less.
Yeah.
We're introducing them to less and less of,
Correct.
What's inside this machine.
Yep.
And just the superficial things to where it's like, hey, micro actions and you're going to get wins. Micro actions and you're going to get wins.
I totally agree. And I think that's the thing we do now. It's just like, these are 3 things you need to do. That's all you need to do in the next 7 days. And that's all you're going to focus on. And by just adopting that, it just made it easier for them to not only make a decision to buy, but also easier for them to adopt to the next stage. Yeah. Like when you start showing, these are all the great things we can do and all that kind of stuff, they just look at you and go like, that's just too much. It's just too much to try and handle in one go. Like they're trying to solve a problem, which is time. But if you're giving them all these things to learn and do, you're actually adding problems to them rather than actually solving their problem. Yeah. So it's just like, so it's kind of like, what's your actual immediate problem you want to solve? These are the 3 action steps you need to take. And that's where we'll show them how to do that. And then as part of the, I guess, ongoing journey on the group calls and things like that, when they come on board, that's when they start learning about other bits and pieces in the platform that's available to them. And then we do like weekly kind of roundups showing them, okay, did you know about these are the things you can do as well too, so. And
it's that whole 80-20 thing. The 80-20 is everywhere, right? And you want your users to be able to get 80% of the functions of your platform, the way you're offering, your unique value proposition to that person. You want them to be able to access 80% of the platform as far as you've built with 20% of the effort.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely.
And then over time say, hey, by the way, here's the other 20%. We can talk about review automation if you want to. We can talk about, some of these things that are, as you're dating, dating your prospect. Matt Coffey, I think he calls it dating your prospect, which is a good way to think about it. You can start saying, hey, by the way, did you know you can also get, reviews? I know so you've got 10. Did you know you can get, like 50 to 100 just by doing this and that? Want me to show you? Awesome.
Yeah.
And then over time they start using the tool. The more they use it. And I think that's the operative thing you talked about in terms of the win comes from adoption. Yeah. The more they use it, the more they're hooked on it, and the easier it is for them. And as long as it's producing a result, they're going to stay.
Exactly. Absolutely. Like if everyone's stepping into the SaaS space, it's all about adoption and it's all about wins. Yeah. Because people only churn when they don't see the value in your software.
Yeah. That is it.
Results. Exactly.
That's right.
There's no value in it. Why would they stay? So if you get them wins and get them hooked, the lifetime value of these clients are like long, because it's hard to switch software. And at the same time, it's also hard to try to learn something new. So the key is to get them onto the platform, get the wins quickly. And like, I think we just said it earlier, just don't show them like everything. Like and I think I made the mistake early on too. It's like, I built all these things. These are fantastic automation I've done already. I'm trying to show them all these other things. Like, these are the things you could do. And it's like, most of them look at me like, like deers in the light, right? It's like, oh, like,
Yeah.
I got no idea what you're talking about, because what we think is a problem or what we build as something is fantastic, it's not that problem. Like, it's just got to solve that one problem to begin with, and they will stay for a long time.
Okay. So I feel like I have an idea of your acquisition. So in terms of identifying the person and then showing them the demo and how the leads that they're already getting, how we can just reduce their effort and time and
Correct.
start getting them more business. Do you have an Ascension model in terms of, upselling them to other features and things? Talk to
Yep.
me about how you're increasing lifetime value.
Yeah. So we actually have also have membership management system that's integrated with GHL. So
Okay.
what we've done is that we solved a lead, I guess, nurturing, capturing issue. Then we upsell them into at some point into a membership management. So it's all natively integrated, like the mind bodies and that kind of stuff. But we have our own software that we have plugged into GHL, and then everything natively integrates with them. So at some point, so we've got probably quite a few users are migrating over from their current user, because one, it just makes sense because it's cost effective, it's seamless, there's no double entry in that space where a lot of people have got two softwares that
Oh, wow.
they're running,
Yeah.
right? So most people, most gyms we know of, they usually start with the gym membership management system, then they look at a calendar system, and then look at a email marketing system like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign,
Yeah.
and someone that's happened all together. So what we're giving them at the moment is like, well, there's one software that's all integrated together that allows you to do everything that all those things are able to do, and then you don't have to double enter. So all the leads are synced, or natively within the platform. So it's bi-directional. So it saves, again, a bunch of time and money, because you're not paying for like 3 or 4 different software at the same time.
That's interesting. So, and that's another hook into the I can't remember who, I think it's Rob Bailey who calls them SaaS hooks, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I love Rob Bailey. He's good. He's a good buddy of mine. He's a good dude. Basically all the other little, if you can throw micro wins, then you hook them in that much
Yeah.
more to your platform. So do you charge extra for that, or do
Yeah.
you just, okay.
It's a little extra on top of that, but then we have the free version as well too. So it's kind of like our hook is a little bit different now. Like what I shared with you earlier on is what our core product, but now as we progress into this other space, it's a couple of different directions. So we actually have that membership management software as becoming also the hook, because
Okay.
because of providing the marketing solutions for them. So it's two directional now. Like, so we've got one coming from, here's a problem about your pain points about how you capture and nurture your leads. Now here's the other entering point into our space, is about how do you manage your members more efficiently with a marketing proposition. So
Okay. Talk to me about the marketing proposition. How does that work? So you're getting them in, so top of funnel hooks. And actually this is interesting because a lot of people do this, right?
Yeah.
Where the top of funnel, you can have one thing, and then over time, you're going to get so good at that one thing that you can actually add on another.
Yep.
Okay. And they can both be entries into the funnel. So talk to me about the lead gen aspect of what it is that you're doing.
Well, the other section was all basically about people are needing their leads managed in some ways of maybe membership management payments, or maybe member management for software to book classes, apps, and things like that. And that space is already there. But the issue with that space is that most of those software don't have a very good marketing suite. Like most of those software are good at doing reports. So they're doing membership management, booking classes, membership apps. That's pretty much all they do. And the marketing side are always very, very kind of like very clunky. Like, and most people speak to Mind Body, you look at what people talk about, is that the issue is that they don't have a very good marketing automation system.
Right.
So we've taken what we already built within GHL, that's solving our first problem. All we've done is just plug 4 or 5 webhooks into another system. That becomes their whole marketing suite. So that's where we just say, well, instead of using your Calendars or your MailChimp active campaigns, now we have a full marketing suite that's plugged into the back end of this particular membership management system. It becomes a full solution for their gym.
Got it. Are you using UpHex yet to get people into those things?
Yep. UpHex is already there too. So lead gen, UpHex is all part of that initial process. So that becomes all in that initial conversation.
This is a big deal. So it's funny. So the one part about, so you've done something that I've not been able to do yet. And I think there's a reason why. I'll tell you why. Maybe there's some kind of solution here, but my agency, like our front end hook is obviously the UpHex hook, right? We can remove costly service providers and agencies. You can do it yourself, better results, whatever. But the thing that has been hard for us, where there are, what are they called? EHRs, electronic health records. So for us to integrate Highlevel with an EHR is really challenging because of HIPAA laws in the States and things like that. So most of the time we have to maintain some type of separation between the two. But I tell you what, man, it would be amazing if everything could happen inside of Highlevel, right? And I know there's HIPAA compliance and things like that already, but some of the membership management stuff in your space, in my space, we got the EHR stuff. And so that presents a little bit of a challenge. So I can see how giving them a full front end solution would be massive for them. And they're saving money. I mean, whoever, like agencies, member management stuff all in one house, you're saving, see what you pay here, see what it would cost to use us.
We're looking at probably up to 60% savings in their subscription on a monthly basis. Huge amount. And the way we done it, with the way we demoed that particular section is that we iframed the membership management inside GHL. So again, everything just sits in one platform, one login, one customer manual link. They click on that and they can see all their members in one space. And whatever they do in GHL goes straight into that system. So there's no logging back and forth. It becomes this seamless operation and makes it a lot easier for them to teach their staff as well too.
I think that is a shortcut in and of itself. So now I will say, so the shortcut is put as many things in Highlevel that makes sense. Don't put stuff in there just to look how robust my system is. That'll have the opposite effect. Right. You put too much stuff in there. The old phrase addition by subtraction, that should be the operative thing. So it does take a lot of work, thinking, engineering to make complex things simple. Trust me, I know this with UpHex, dude. It was, I mean, to make something so complicated, make it that simple, is so challenging. How much iteration continues to go into your platform right now?
Well, I have a day, like this morning, actually. That's my product improvement day. That's what I call it. So I go through and look at what we've done, and then we look at ways we can improve functionalities. And I've literally just took away a whole bunch of different things that's not necessary, and just made the snapshot even cleaner than what it was before. So do that all the time, and just looking at ways we can try to improve. And then once we're happy with the core product, there's always, what else can we add into the core product to make it more, I guess, beneficial for other people. So like giving an example, we just added the e-sign documentation into the plugin. So what that has allowed our GHL to do is that, well, now instead of using these other waivers, that you can now, everything all within the one platform, it automates that waiver sent out to them, automates the ongoing workflow that goes out when that waiver has been signed. The guys just are blown away by how much they can actually do, because all these things are all sitting in one platform. And now we develop onto the next stage of that plugin becomes what happens when someone completes a challenge, when they complete a form within GHL. How can we now create a certificate, a PDF certificate generated to them with their before and also after results? It just, again, it's just adding those little bits and pieces that it allows them to celebrate the little wins a bit better, and just making that sticky product for them for the long term.
I think sometimes people's expectation of what this game looks like is I'm going to get in there. I'll set up my GHL. I'll set up my UpHex. There's my solution. And now I just sell.
Yeah.
And the reality is you start there. But even, I mean, I've been in this space as my agency for 8 years. And man, that thing changes so much. And especially now. So now, it's what's really the AI stuff is so cool. Like what you're able to do with all these different chat bots and everything else is a game changer. We have, one of the things that we did to solve a problem previously in my agency was we plugged in kind of like a call center that they would call the leads and do all the rigorous work that needs to get done for these leads to turn into sales. And now with this AI, we need, like, I think Jacob was saying, it's like 30% of the manpower to do the same thing. And the manpower is actually getting allocated to higher intent actions. So meaning if my team was dialing for dollars, okay, and we're charging, a hefty amount to do that. Now the AI is doing that. And all that they are doing is taking prepayments and doing pre-qualification. They've moved their actions down the funnel. And to the customer, that has such a higher value proposition than anything else. So it is such a cool time to be in the agency space where with a couple clicks, you can launch your ads, and then on an automated basis, they'll get booked. And all you really have to do is then solve for how do we pre-qual and make sure these people show up, and then there's sales, right? So,
exactly.
But if you don't stop iterating, you're never gonna get to that point.
I think that's a really, really key point there too. I think your business cannot stay what it was. Like where my business, the SaaS business is at the moment, what it was 2 years ago, it's like chalk and cheese. They don't look.
I like how you say chalk and cheese. You said that to me on message. I've never heard that before, but I get it.
Oh, really? Yeah. It just cannot stay the same. Like, where you started, when you're in your business, you've got to continue to improve, because I think this is a really key point for anyone who's starting out, is that if you're copying everybody else, you're going to be left behind. Like if you want to break through in your business or your SaaS space, whatever you're doing, you got to be kind of that person that it's always innovative, like always creating something that is that little edge or a little offer that is a little bit different, because otherwise what you're doing is you're just like everybody else. You don't have that cut through with their message. So you got to be a little bit different, a little bit more unique with everything you do.
So you're absolutely right. And the way people get caught into that trap is by doing exactly what you and I say. What they need to do is go back to like the 2 or 3 minute mark of this video and listen to when you were talking about the exact frustrations of the avatar that you talk about. It's a focus on that, on your, and I'm getting as specific as I can here, because what I don't want an agency owner to do is to think, I'm just going to do this one time, and then that's how I build and adapt my process. It's a process, because when you look at their frustrations, you build the solution based on that.
Right.
Okay. Now you can look to me, to Jackson, you can look to other people in the space that are putting out content. And you can say, oh, well, they're talking about booking bots. The exercise that you must go through after that is pair your psychographics. What you talked about, your gym owners who are already getting people who are frustrated about this. Well, now that you install this bot, there's a change, a nuance in that avatar. And so you have to pair that with what's happening in the marketplace and make your unique approach to that thing. That's how you adapt and grow in this business.
Absolutely. That's the absolute key, is really be clear what you're solving, and then not just what you're solving, and how can I solve that better all the time. And that's where iteration comes in. Like, how can I make that better and better every single time? Like, okay, it's good now. How can I improve that? How can I improve that by that little bit? Or what can I do to make my offer stronger and better and getting better results?
Yeah.
Like if you think that you think you've got it today, like, if you're not improving on that, someone else will be.
Yeah. And to put an undertone and maybe a final pin in this before we conclude, there's that stat of the amount of businesses that go out of business within like the first 2 years, whatever it is, and what it's due to. Like you can attribute the failure of that business to a couple of core things. And one of the biggest attributions of failure is, I think it's like 48 or 42%. You're talking about half of the failure of the businesses has to do with something that they title no market need.
Yep.
That means that if you're an agency or you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about shifting over to the agency space, the habit that we all have as people is we jump forward to copying Jackson, copying and building a product, but only finding out that, oh, nobody wanted that version of what we created. So you can't create something the market needs without a keen understanding of who the market is.
Yeah.
And that is such like a blind spot to agency owners. It just, I will probably reiterate that one point over and over and over again on the shortcut series, because it's such a fundamental thing. And it's such a thing that if you get it right, you will win. Inevitably, you'll win. It doesn't matter. You'll win.
Yeah. Because I think we were talking about this earlier on, like how people identify market versus category. And what you said is exactly what that is. Like most people identify the category, like gym, like that's my fitness professional, like billions of people in there. But the market is the people who have those pain points. And that's what we're going to really identify, because there are heaps of people in the GHL space, in gym space, but what is your market? What is the one problem you're trying to solve for them? And then how can you make your proposition a lot better and a lot stronger? It's probably the key here.
Do you think, and I'm having this thought as you're talking here, do you think that a reason a lot of people have a hard time narrowing down is because they think, well, if I write that specific thing, I won't be talking to enough people. Like my ads are talking, I want to get everybody that has a gym. Do you think that's kind of the proclivity of why people won't, but why they refuse to narrow down?
Yep, definitely. I think that's absolutely right, because I think, I think people have a fear of, like, that if it gets too specific, then they may not speak to enough people. But the reality is, you got to change our mindset a little bit. Like you got to have that, you can't have that sort of scarcity type mindset thing. Oh, like, everyone's saying it already. Like reality is, to have a great SaaS business, you only need 100 plus clients is already a very good SaaS business.
Yeah.
Like you don't need that many, which means like you can have a very specific message and serving a very small group of people, rather than having to serve like hundreds of people. It actually gives more headache, by the way, but like having a small group of people that you work really well, getting great results, is going to give you some really good foundation for your SaaS business. So I think having that mindset of not being afraid of just going specific what you do, like, because when I started out with my particular message, it wasn't really spoken about. Like most people was all about lead gen.
Yeah.
No one was speaking about efficiency.
Yeah.
So you got to find that place in your business. I think very clear message.
Awesome. All right, Jackson, we're going to end here. This is the first time, so I'm putting you on the spot. Okay.
Okay.
So you have the disadvantage of, not seeing other people answer this question, but I'm sure you're a very articulate guy. I'm sure you'll do great. I want you to picture Jackson Chen 2 years ago. Okay. You are talking to you 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I want you to give yourself a shortcut to getting to, so you started out with you yourself as a client, and today you're at 190 plus. What is the one shortcut? And this is, again, putting you on the spot, that you think you would give yourself to get you from 0 to 190 at an even faster click than you did it, which 2 years is really fast, but still. What would you say?
I'll probably go listen to this podcast.
That works. Yeah, just
Right?
listen to the podcast.
But to be serious, I think the one thing is exactly what we just talked about in the podcast, is that be clear on the message and be clear on who you marketing to, and solve one problem. That's it.
Problem.
Yeah, I think that's key, because when I first 2 years ago was like, oh, what are all these different things I can solve? Like all these other things I can do. Like, how can I do this, things that? It's a broad, as I was trying, like, how do I, give them website solutions and funnel solutions. And it's like, I was adding all these different things into my GHL to make it better for them.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it was like, they don't need it.
Yeah.
They just want to solve this one issue at the moment. Other things will come. Yeah. But so if I want to grow faster, I'll probably be like really, really pushing that one pain point and making that product better faster. That will allow me to scale faster. It's kind of funny. I'm talking about this now at 190. That's exactly where I'm sitting at the moment. It's like, I'm just pushing that one pain point harder and then making that better all the time. And that's, I believe that will allow me to scale to the next 200 at a shorter time frame than what I did in the last 2 years. So
that's the Michigan method. That's the one prospect, one sales funnel, one offer.
Yeah.
Right. And I couldn't agree more. This has been awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on here, being the first. I mean, as the first, shortcut person here, you did not disappoint. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No, pleasure.
And we'll have to have you back again, man. 190. So actually, before we end, what's the goal? Where are you going? What do you think you want to do?
I'd love to get to 500.
That would be amazing.
I'd love to get to 500. I love that, to crack that 100,000 MRR. That's where awesome. I want to get to. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right, Jackson, appreciate you, buddy.
Okay. Thank you.